Welcome to Occultium Veritas. I speak a lot about historical occult texts. So why historical occult texts? There's a lot of occult texts that they're great. I mean, they're fundamental to your practice, and they're not historical. They're not in antiquity, so to speak. So I like to rely on historical occult texts because I've been studying the occult for a long time. So once you get into the study of the occult, you kind of want to figure out where it came from and why it started. So you can go back to ancient Egypt, which is really a cool place to start on occult texts and magical practice. Um, Beyond ancient Egypt, you're looking at like ancient shamanism, which is not a lot is known about ancient shamanism, so it's hard to get past ancient Egypt on historical magical text. I mean, there's Mesopotamian magical text and Sumerian magical text, but again, this is the same time as ancient Egypt. So I just like to go back as far as I can to figure out, how this all started, and I guess you can pinpoint it in shamanism. I mean, really, and shamanism is a really cool art. If you don't know what shamanism is, again, factual historic information about shamanism, you're not really going to find that much. I mean, to be a shaman, you were in an ancient culture, you were basically the magical person of the culture or the tribe. You did healing. You talked to spirits. You did channeling. You did necromancy. You did all this occult practice in your primitive tribe or primitive culture, and that was what a shaman was. So, I mean, witch doctor, same thing as a shaman. Um, so they didn't write down a lot of this stuff. A lot of stuff is not like passed down historically for us to examine and analyze and rip apart and all that stuff. But I guess shamans were kind of like, today we have a whole thing of people being like empaths, okay? And I do like that term, but again, I think that term is like very, very, very much loosely used. Um, if you're an empath, people are like, oh yeah, I feel all this energy from other people, yada, yada, yada. And some people do. Legitimately, there is some empaths that are around today. But it's been culturalized to a point where it's almost, I guess, a cool thing to be as an empath. And not everybody is an empath. You know it or you don't know it. But again, it's one of those terms that it's been a cliche where people are like, oh, that's cool, I'm an empath. And, there you go. So I looked into shamanism at one point. I was called to the shaman's path at one point because I've always had that connection with other people, whatever, but I don't want to talk about myself too much here. But anyway, historical magic practice. If you want to get into historical text, you can, and again, there's a lot of historical magical texts that have not been translated into English, so that's another roadblock you're gonna fall into. I couldn't mention all those books because I'm not a huge occult scholar. I mean, I do my research as much as I can, but a lot of those things haven't been translated into English. So unless you're speaking another language, another roadblock for you. I do like to do a little book reviews on medieval grimoire texts and stuff that has been translated in English because I speak English. So that's the thing. I mean, I do like historical text because it gives you a foundation of where you came from, and it's not to debunk newer magical practice because every magical practice is valid to me. It's all valid, whether it's Wicca, which came from Gerald Gardner in the 20th century, or chaos magic, which showed up in the late 70s. It's all valid magical practice. It's all a valid magical path. You just take the things and do what you want with them, and that's fine. But I love historical magical text. That's my thing. I love to do it. I love to talk about it. And if you want me to do a book review on a historical magical text that is actually printed in English and translated in English, I will totally do it. Give me some suggestions. I've done a few. I mean, I have a few in my collection, but I don't have all of them. And again, you know, you want to look at your authors. Joseph Peterson is great. Aleister Crowley is great. Elvis Levy is great. Arthur Edward Waite is great. Yeah, all these people that have actually practiced this stuff, know what they're talking about, doing it for a while. Look into it. Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.